Free Britney? You want to free Britney? All right. Britney Spears.
I don't know that I want to free Britney, but I want to talk about Free Britney.
Could you explain the Free Britney to me? Because I have not seen it yet, but I am invested in the story.
Yeah, it's a great documentary. The New York Times put a documentary together with Hulu, and it's basically about following Britney Spears's rise from when she was like literally 7 years old on Star Search all the way to now. And it talks a lot about the media and how we, and I'll say we because I'm sure that I was part of the problem, how we treated her, how we commented on her. There's a really, really poignant moment with Diane Sawyer that made me just like crawl into my like shell of myself and be like, oh, that was an awful, terrible thing for an interviewer to ask a 19-year-old girl. So we basically, it talks about like how now she has this conservatorship, like her father is her conservator, along with this other company. The company is only in charge of like her finances, and how people want her free. They think that she shouldn't be part of the conservatorship anymore.
You know, remember, this is a girl who got married for 3 days or 8 days to her high school friend, divorced him, and I think he was nice, and then married Kevin Federline. I feel like anybody who is married to Kevin Federline should be in a conservatorship.
I don't know, man. I will say that watching this documentary and just seeing it with other people, seeing it with Justin Bieber, for example, fame, especially at a young age, will eat you alive. First and foremost, your brain, just on a scientific level, your brain is not developed enough to handle certain situations the way, let's say, like your brain or my brain is, right? Like it's just not. And that's where you see like making poor decisions. And you know, like the part where Britney shaved her head and then she smacked the guy's car with his umbrella, like with her umbrella, the photographer. What I never knew about that is that she had just come back from Kevin Federline's house begging to see her children, and because of a court order or whatever it was, he did not let her see her kids. And I will tell you, as a mother, I would murder someone. Like I literally, I would have no hesitation of running. I'm shocked she didn't run someone over. So I feel bad for her.
Yeah, I guess I feel bad for her. I don't know what to say as a man in therapy about the mental health implications of success. I will say the mental health implications of a lack of success lead to me judging her a little bit more than I should.
Okay. Hey, that's super, super honest.
Yeah. I think there's, you know, as a guy who has struggled for money and was raised with people without money, you know, she became the gravy train for that family, and she was used for money. But on the other hand, how many people do we see like Honey Boo Boo types or real life Honey Boo Boos where they're struggling, they invested in this kid, and she's the one who took off. You know what? Just talking out loud, I don't know if I'm free Britney, but I am. She's surrounded by a-holes.
So that's a huge part of the documentary, is the fact that her dad still controls. Her dad has full control over whether or not she is going to put on a performance and all these things. And obviously, like, he gets some of that money. And I understand that he's a conservator. Like that seems to be like a normal setup. I think the argument is that this is a 39-year-old woman who is capable of making her own decisions. And I just want to put like a huge asterisk there, that we are aware of as just like regular people, right? Like, we don't know what is in those medical documents about how she's been evaluated over the years. And that's why I shy away from being on the Free Britney side. Like, I literally am very neutral about this, because you don't know what's in those documents. And maybe there's a lot more going on than we're able to see. And maybe there is a reason that she needs to be a little bit more watched over, but I don't know.
Well, along those lines, and I'm now comparing Britney to my elderly grandmother, God rest her soul.
That's where a lot of conservatorships come into play. Yeah.
Now, what I would love to see Britney have is a conservatorship that made sure she didn't blow the winnings. You know, like I'd love to see.
That's actually right.
Yeah.
I think that was part of it. I think there was like undue influence. Like they were worried back in the day of like, I think his name was like Sam Lufty, about how she might be duped into giving away her money to people like that. So that's part of the reason that it went into place in the first place. But I think now their argument is like, she doesn't need that. She's okay.
Oh, an easy one is her marriage decisions. Jason Alexander, somebody did the math on that 8-day marriage. And if he actually went after alimony, which he did not, I want her to marry that guy. I still don't know who he is, but he didn't go after alimony. And on that alone, I think his alimony alone was more money than I'm making.
Oh, like, I'm sure. She's so rich.
And she, at that point, I think had you married her for 8 days and based on 8 days of marriage at that year of her career, he was entitled to like 90 grand a year in alimony.
It's insane.
And
honestly though, like what?
And he didn't go for it.
No, well, because he's a good person. They were friends for a long time. I just think what's interesting is that like just watching the way the media treated her, a really good example is there was that whole rumor that she cheated on Justin Timberlake when they broke up. And Diane Sawyer in this interview, rather than saying, hey, there's this rumor that you cheated on Justin, would you like to respond? Diane Sawyer said, what did you do? And I just like crawled inside myself and was like, how dare you? Like, why? What a poorly worded question.
Yeah, but I'm not to take Team Diane here for a second. There's a reason why these a-holes are all on TV and you and I aren't. If we as an American audience responded only to proper questions, if I
you're right.
TMZ, listen, I am part of the problem. I keep loving the Craig Ferguson monologue about not making Britney jokes anymore. Did you ever?
I know what you're talking about, but I don't know of it, if that makes sense. Like I'm aware that it exists, but I don't know what it is.
Yeah, you watch it. It's a good 8 minutes that'll influence you in the next chapter of your broadcasting career. That being said, I still make Charlie Sheen jokes a little bit. You know, I still make Lindsay Lohan jokes a little bit. It's sort of the same thing. You know, I mean, you know, I'm not a good person, and I do flock to the story. I love building.
I get it.
Up, and we love tearing them down. And then, but I also love the building them up again. And she hasn't hit that yet.
Well, she did once, and then she's coming back again. I don't know, dude. I struggle. We could talk about this for hours. I struggle with that a lot as a broadcaster. You are spot on.
When Lauren says we could talk about that for a while, she's like, we should have ended this 3 minutes ago. I hear.
If you get a chance, subscribe to the Tom Kelly Show podcast on all the major podcast providers. Sign up for the Tom Kelly Show email list at TomKellyShow.com. And of course, you can find me and contact me personally at Tom Kelly Show on Instagram, Facebook, Clubhouse, Venmo, TikTok, and FarmersOnly.com.